Woo, I'm in the middle. Me and Mickey Mouse. All right.
I'm going to get sued.
Two leprechauns walk into a bar. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Couple days. Got a couple days.
All right.
All right.
Take it
Hi, I'm Jacob.
I'm Joseph.
And this
What is this?
is an interview.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. So, a couple months ago, I saw that.
2 months ago.
Was it okay?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what couple means.
The Courier announced that we're going to have a Comic-Con right here in the Gila Valley.
Which we're super excited about, by the way, because we love Comic-Cons.
And I was like, hey, it's the Courier. I know David Bell. And I bet if I ask him, he'll let us be in it.
Who's David Bell?
This is David Bell.
Oh.
He's
David Bell.
He's the editor-in-chief of the Eastern Arizona Courier and
Copper Era and Arizona Range News in Wilcox.
got a couple things going.
That is quite the resume.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I used to deliver the Courier
Oh.
for like a long... I hated it. Absolutely hated it.
So you didn't like getting up at midnight and delivering at 2 a.m.?
I didn't like getting up. I didn't like having to drive to Wilcox. No, it was awful. It was truly terrible. Thank you for that job opportunity.
No problem.
Thank you for that. I did not ever work for the Courier.
Well, good for you.
I don't get to share that.
You do. You give us the
I work
graduation
I work
photos.
with the Courier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fort Thomas.
So, out at Fort Thomas High School, I'm an English and media teacher. So we do a couple things together.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dang it.
So
like
I'm trying to teach kids how to do this.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Talk to...
No, they don't want to see that.
They
But-
don't. I have spoken to the media class at Fort Thomas once before you were on board, and I have never seen so many disinterested students. Not because of the kids. The kids were bright. I mean, they were really bright, but they realized very quickly that this is a dead-end job, and so they were very smart.
Print's not dead. Come on.
No, it's
now.
not. We love print. Print is wonderful.
It's still working. And obviously, the Courier definitely has an online presence.
We do. We're online. Matter of fact, we were just live on our social media page, just moments before going live right now.
Yeah. So that means that they beat us to the punch. So, bummer. We lost that one.
Well, they just
we're
saw
good.
you doing set dressing. That's all. That's all they saw. It was cool.
It was cool.
Behind the scenes.
We had problems with these.
All right, I have a question for you guys before we get into my stuff. I saw. All right, first of all, I have to ask the pronunciation. Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
That's official from the English teacher.
Yes, the English teacher who is not an expert in Norse mythology.
Obviously
Okay.
not.
I've always pronounced it Ragnarok, so my
Hey.
bad. All right, so
Well,
I watched your review.
I'm gonna say that that's official.
Okay.
We'll
I
look
can
it
be
up
wrong.
later.
That's
we'll
okay.
fix it in post.
All right, I watched the review. Love the review, and I didn't see the movie. My mother-in-law had some surgery, so we weren't able to go out to movies. So I missed 3. I missed Thor, I missed Justice League, and I missed Star Wars. So I'm playing catch up right now. So
They're all-
What did you do with your winter?
oh, it was horrible. It was just awful.
Is Justice League out on video now?
It just came out.
Yeah, as did
So
Thor.
all 3 are out.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I bought Thor, watched Thor, then I watched your review. No spoilers. So I knew that. So you guys love the movies. Top 5 superhero comic-based movies.
Now, are we talking in the new Marvel Cinematic Universe or just
He's opening it up.
Hey,
further.
Top 5,
everything.
but I'm still being specific. Superhero
superhero movies?
comic book movies.
Comic book movies. Has to be based in comic books.
No, you know what?
You
I'll
loved
even go there.
Logan, didn't you?
I did. I really did like Logan.
Okay.
That was 2017, about a year ago.
So that's probably the freshest one in my mind. I really enjoyed that movie. Another one for me is going to be Deadpool, and yeah, but and then
Are you excited for Deadpool 2?
I'm very excited for Deadpool too.
All right.
And then reaching way back, the movie that probably got me into comic books would be the original, the first Batman, the Tim Burton Batman,
Okay.
1984 or 1989.
89.
Yeah, 1989 Batman. And then
You were a child. I was having children.
yeah.
So
We were born in 84.
you were a child. I was having children. My oldest was born in 88.
Oh my goodness.
My oldest was not born in 88. That would have been a scandal.
Another one for me.
No, it would have been a record.
We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. Another one for me. Oh, I don't know. You have to come back to me. What do you got?
Oh man, long time ago, I decided I wanted to write and direct movies.
Okay.
So I
there.
went to I went to EAC and I wrote and directed. I did a bunch of video. I did all this stuff, and man, I was just super critical of everything I saw because I felt like that's what I had to do. I had to be super critical, and then I got back from my mission. And I was like, wow, I gotta chill a little bit about the criticism, so I can enjoy things again.
So you figured this out pretty young, because you would have been in your early... No, seriously, because your mission's usually about 18, 19, right?
Yeah.
So you're back, what, about 20, 21? And you figured this out?
21.
That's impressive, because it
What?
took me till about 35 to figure that out. Because I was the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we can pick things apart.
Mhm.
Things aren't great. Yesterday I saw Hurricane Heist. It was a fun movie.
Okay.
It was an enjoyable movie. There were some lines that made me cringe, but it's okay. It's okay. It was an enjoyable movie.
All right.
It was good. But I had to decide, I need to enjoy movies instead of ripping them apart, because it's hard for me to really just throw something way above the others, right? So an all-time 5, I don't know where I'd put things.
Yeah.
In terms of comic book movies, I don't know.
Well, not
I
comic
think
book,
there's a
superhero,
lot of
'cause there's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
There's a huge difference.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right.
All right, you're stuck on a desert
Probably-
island for a year. You have one movie to watch. It has to be a superhero movie. Go. Where are you at, Mr. Bell?
All right. My top 2 are easy.
Okay.
So, number 1, Superman the movie, 1978.
Fantastic movie.
Perfect comic book movie. It's cheesy, it's schmaltzy. Christopher Reeve is perfect in both roles.
Yeah.
And people forget that.
Perfect hair.
Yeah, looked like Superman, like he walked off the comic book page, and I was a kid from the age of 2 who was into comics. So, just the perfect movie. Now, the special effects today obviously don't match up, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was. Number 2's got to be Dark Knight Returns.
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 Third one.
So, no,
Second one.
Returns is second,
Yeah.
right?
Dark Knight Rises.
No, Dark Knight. Sorry, Batman Begins. Dark Knight Returns.
Okay, all right, well, the second one. Heath Ledger, Joker.
Heath Ledger Joker.
Bale's the weak spot, but just barely. The movie can stand on its own, can work within the 3. I think it's a good, dark movie.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I get fuzzy, because I'm with you. I love Deadpool. I love Logan.
Yeah.
And I'm not an X-Man fan.
Yeah.
I don't like any
You
of
said it
those
didn't
films.
feel like an X-Men movie.
It didn't.
It didn't, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
I didn't like any of the Singer movies. Other than Usual Suspects, I'm not a Singer fan.
Before all the bad news came out.
Well, not even that. I just don't care for him as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So, but Logan was great. Deadpool was wonderful because it was so different.
Yeah.
That's all I needed, was just something different. Winter Soldier is, I think, the best of the Marvels so far. Although the first
Good
Iron
choice.
Man is wonderful too.
Mm-hmm.
It works. So I don't know 3 through 5. I'll throw another curve in. The Captain Marvel movie serial from the 1940s is really cheesy in terms of its special effects. I think they built a wooden Captain Marvel and strung it on fishing line to make him fly. So it's always the exact same thing when he flies, but it really feels like the old Captain Marvel comic books. It's cheesy and fun and goofy, and it's really pretty good.
I gotta hand it to you. It is very rare that anybody comes up with something I haven't seen, and I have never seen those.
I think I have the DVD of that. I will get it to you. I will bring it to the convention.
I will absolutely have to watch those. It is very rare that somebody comes up with something that I've never seen before.
I've not seen Spy Smasher. I haven't seen Black Hawk, the serials. I just started watching Green Hornet. I have seen the two Batmans and the Superman. They're fun.
Yeah.
For exactly what they are.
Yeah.
You know, if my age, we used to watch on Saturday afternoons the old Buck Rogers serials. They would always show an episode, or a chapter, I guess, before whatever cheesy movie was going to be shown at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So we got to see those serials. So I have a love for those.
Yeah.
They're bad, but they're fun.
They're fun bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you can enjoy.
You can enjoy bad stuff.
Oh, I love bad
enjoy
movies.
bad.
I am all in on a bad movie. My poor fiance, I make her watch at least one a week, and so I have to give her The Voice, and I have to give her Flea Market Flip. I mean, those are my trade-offs.
Yeah.
So I can watch Miami Connection, and what was the last one we saw? Galactic Bounty Hunter, I think it was, something like that.
Oh yeah.
Just horrible movies.
Horrible. You know, and I really mean this when I say it. Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Oh, is tremendous.
One of my favorite. There are a few movies that I've seen more than Plan 9 from Outer Space, and is, you know, historically the worst movie of all time. But it kind of resets my psyche. You know, like I watched that movie to reset and like recharge my batteries.
They're great. The Room is fantastic.
I was going to ask if you've seen The Room.
I have seen The Room. I don't enjoy it. I don't.
You turned Rocky Horror, not you, but America turned Rocky Horror into a phenomenon, and it's a terrible movie. I mean, it's really, really bad, but it's
not
so
even
much
a good
fun.
idea.
Yeah, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Tommy, I don't even know how to say his last name.
Wiseau? Yeah.
You would disagree. But, okay. So, I think we have a good transition to talk about the con. But first, before you said it, I was going to say Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
I was going to say Dark Knight.
So that's You're on an Island.
If I was going to have one
DVD.
It was probably, one superhero, probably Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Iron Man.
Iron Man's really
Maybe
good.
Iron Man could be really
You know
good.
what?
Original
Iron Man 3 is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think so when I first saw it. Iron Man 2 still, I struggle with.
Yeah.
But Iron Man 3 is really good if you get past the Iron Man stuff.
Yeah.
Which sounds weird, but
Yeah.
I mean, you know, with all the crazy Iron Man flying around, but the whole examining PTSD, Downey does a really good job in that film. And it's a really good movie.
Yeah. That movie had me right up until that last sequence, essentially.
Yeah.
But I totally agree.
At the end.
Yeah.
The interaction with the kid, I
Mhm.
mean, it's just, it's really
good stuff.
All right, I got one more for you for movies. I'm finding I'm struggling with, especially the Marvel movies, the enthusiasm. I'm enthusiastic about Avengers coming up because it's been building toward this, but I've not really cared for any of the Thor movies. They're okay, but they're not my favorites. I never cared for the Thor comic, so that might be a big reason.
I tried to read Ragnarok. I
feel
got
like,
a couple pages.
Yeah, I feel like Thor's got a smaller following
Yeah,
than most comics.
and I haven't read the most recent run with Jason Aaron doing the writing, and I need to. I hear it's very good. But one thing I've noticed with the Marvel movies, almost all of them feature the hero fighting a doppelganger of himself. So Iron Man fights Ironmonger. Captain America fights the first guy to take the super soldier serum, Red Skull. Then he fights, and as much as I love Winter Soldier, he fights the Winter Soldier, who's basically the Russian super soldier. Hulk fights the Abomination. Ant-Man fights Yellow Jacket, although I don't think he was called Yellow Jacket in the movie. I think he was called something else. And Black Panther fights Killmonger. And it's just two Black Panthers fighting each other. I'm struggling. I know Marvel's problem has been their villains.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm struggling with that. I'm curious your thoughts on it. Seeing the same thing over and over again. And I enjoyed Ant-Man. Ant-Man was a great little heist movie. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was different. It was small, coming right off of Age of Ultron. But I don't want to see the same thing over and over again. That's why I like Deadpool, because Deadpool's completely different.
For me personally, I get stagnant with movies very quickly. You know what I mean? And
my publisher she's walking out, so I just waved. So.
I get stagnant with movies very quickly. You know, and I'll get fairly jaded. You know, as much as I like comic books and growing up reading comic books, and I was a huge Batman fan growing up. I get tired of seeing the same kind of movie rehashed. You know, and before, when I was younger, I could be at least entertained by the action sequences, and it would be okay. But as I got older, I really need more story. I need more depth. And so when anything like Deadpool comes out that's just so different, or Thor, Ragnarok, which we just had so much fun watching.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
It was, and I'll say that. I'm not a Thor fan, and Thor is the one set of movies that breaks the mold. They don't, I guess Loki's kind of the anti-Thor, but not really. I mean, he's different enough that it's not you're fighting the same guy. Mm-hmm. It's not like you fought Better Ray Bill, but I just struggle with those movies. I do agree Ragnarok was the best out of the three.
Mm-hmm. I think, in a way, is DC having the opposite problem? It's too big.
Yeah.
It's too big, and how do you build on that? And I think the answer is, you have to make it character-based. Mm-hmm. You have to make it interesting. So having you fight yourself,
mm-hmm.
You're fighting a metaphor. It's like, oh, okay. I get that idea. I think it's an interesting idea.
That's what I enjoyed about Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I don't know if you ever saw that film.
I haven't. It's my youngest favorite movie.
Yeah. But that scene where he's obviously going to fight himself because it's based on video games, they just, oh no, it never happened. They come out and we had a good conversation. He's actually a really cool guy. And that, in the sense that you're talking about, was just fantastic.
Thwarting the expectation.
Yeah, I thought it was just wonderful because...
That's why I said superhero earlier, because there are other... Ghost World is one of my favorite non-comic, or non-superhero
comic book movies, yeah.
Oh, man. I for the most part, I really struggle when the formula is just so strong that it's like, oh, please, come on. I mean, we've written and we've shot narrative films, and we're like, come on. The easiest problem to fix in a movie is the script, right? And yet so many movies have trouble with it. Mm-hmm. Because it's the cheapest, easiest thing. It doesn't cost money to sit there in front of the computer. It just costs time.
Yeah.
So, and regardless of what their intent is, there's a formula there that you're struggling with, and they got to deal with that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Thanos is a very big, powerful dude, and it's gonna feel a little bit different. But I would expect they're all gonna face their own individual struggles, and it's not all just gonna be a version of him.
Right, and the Avengers have broken that mold as well. Because they
had
to.
That's
although
Civil
War functionally was the Avengers fighting themselves, so it turned into that doppelganger.
Right.
And I think the original plan was Civil War is going to come after Infinity War.
Right.
But they're like, no, we got to do this first.
Because they've been teasing it for a decade now.
Yeah.
Is it a decade?
I was trying to figure out, when's
Thor.
Thor.
Did Thanos show up after Thor?
No, he showed up after Thor, but the Infinity Gauntlet appeared early in the hall, in the museum or whatever.
Yeah, and then
wherever he
was.
That was in
Thor.
That was in Thor.
Mm-hmm. And that was like, I remember seeing that and thinking,
So Thor
whoa.
2011.
And then Hela kicking it over.
Right, 2011.
was great.
Yeah.
That was funny. I like that. She's
Fake.
like fake.
So yeah, that was the fourth movie, because I guess Hulk, Incredible Hulk, is considered part of canon, even though it was a joint venture with Paramount.
Well, I think what happened at that time was they were in transition while they were filming the Wolverine movie and the Hulk movie. So I think Hulk was Marvel's first as a studio, kind of on their own.
And this is before Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Disney didn't make Iron Man.
that's why
Disney didn't make.
Yeah. That's why it
Hulk.
feels a little bit muddled. So.
Yeah, I was looking up the dates the other day. Because they're like, all right, 10 years of Marvel. 10 years of Marvel.
Yeah.
And it's in the logo.
Yeah.
And then, Disney officially completed the purchase. December
December.
December 31st, 2009.
Disney.
Disney doesn't have a month yet, but
They will.
They will. It'll be very short. It'll be there for leap
Thursday.
years.
Yeah, they'll get February to start, and then start reaching out.
Oh, boy. Disney's doing a good job taking over the world.
There they are.
But, they were able to give money. Marvel didn't have the capital that Disney had. And
Correct.
Disney has made money.
And they've done a good job.
Yeah.
They really have. You can't argue with their success. Panther, tops $1 billion worldwide?
Mm-hmm.
That's phenomenal. Especially in this country where we don't see African Americans open movies big.
Right.
And here's a movie with basically one or two white guys in it, and that's it.
Unless it's a Will Smith movie.
Nah, he doesn't open that big, does he? I
don't know.
And definitely not for
Independence
years.
Day.
Yeah.
So Black Panther is number 5.
Of Marvel movies currently?
No, it's the second highest grossing Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
If it stays strong, it'll beat Avengers. The only Marvel movie ahead of it is Avengers.
Is Avengers?
It is, because I was looking this up the other day. I feel like I'm going to be wrong.
They've got a few weeks left, so before other stuff starts to come out. What's coming out now?
It's the 5th highest grossing film of all time.
Avengers is next month, and
Yeah.
then Deadpool in May, and then Aquaman in November, October, something like that.
So by the time Avengers comes out,
We got
I
Ant-Man
think
and
they'll
Wasp.
have
July.
Oh yeah, that's right, Ant-Man and Wasp.
July.
I
Yeah.
forgot about them.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna rake in as much money. But
But Ant-Man isn't
It's not.
expected to.
No,
they
it's
they
not.
knew it wasn't going to.
and it's a lower budget film, and it's not gonna. It's gonna be that fun one that people are just gonna enjoy.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I like those movies.
Yeah.
I still have to see Justice League. I'm almost frightened to, but we've committed.
It's-
I think we're doing it tomorrow night.
You'll have to
Did
call
you-
us right after.
Okay.
I'd love to know.
Did
what
you
think
enjoy
of it.
Batman versus Superman?
Not really, no. Not really. I struggled with it. It was. Zack Snyder is wonderful on visuals, and I
Right.
like Watchmen.
Mhm.
I'm one of the few that likes it. People say it's soulless.
Mhm.
My only issue with Watchmen was who they chose to pick who play Laurie. She's an actress. I like her. She just wasn't right for that role because that role required so much cynicism, and the actress just doesn't have that. She's bubbly. She's naturally.
Why am I losing?
I can't remember her
right
name.
now.
I can picture her, but I can't.
So often we're on IMDb.
But I like the movie. I thought Watchmen was solid. It translated those books almost perfectly, and I thought the end was better than the books.
than the comic book.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the end better too. It was less complicated.
Correct, and you can't have the nuance that you get in
Yeah.
12 individual issues where there's text pieces.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that.
But
with
but
that kind of
Snyder
film.
just
He makes-
struggles with story. He
Yeah.
just does. It's all about the visual, and
Batman versus Superman was it's like he chose frames that he wanted to hit.
Yeah,
yeah,
And they were pretty.
It was.
they were wonderful. On
Yeah.
visually,
But-
it's
but-
a fantastic film.
Mhm.
The only thing that bugged me was Martha.
Martha.
Like, wait.
No,
Your mom's
I
Your mom has the same name as my mom.
It was deeper than
We
that,
could be
man.
friends.
Come on, it was deeper than
I
that.
was-
I never saw the extended version. You wanted me to
You
see.
need to see it.
I was all in with Batman's motivation in that film, which still felt tacked on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the criticism after Man of Steel, justifiable criticism in my opinion. That's not Superman. He
Yeah.
just doesn't act that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I love Superman 78.
Right.
I want my Superman cheesy and a
Yeah.
Boy Scout and, you know,
With the curl coming
yeah,
off, you
and,
know.
and
And I
getting
think
a
a lot
cat
of
out of a
people-
tree and giving a kid a sucker.
After, I mean, and I think that's where a lot of people struggle is like, wait a second. You know, the symbolism of Superman was lost. He was gone. He was
Yeah.
Right.
a different character.
Good Batman. I thought the Batman character in Batman vs Superman was solid. Wonder Woman obviously was good.
Mm-hmm.
Did not like Lex Luthor at all. Lex Luthor was the Joker in that film,
Yeah.
and I struggled with that.
I think they tried to go to make him like they give him autism is what it appeared to me. You know,
Yeah.
they put Lex Luthor on the spectrum to kind of, and I don't think it came across the way they really wanted it to. But I still like Kevin Spacey.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I know. I was gonna say.
I know
better than Kevin
I'm
Spacey.
alone in this, but
There's strength in a pompous, egomaniacal
yeah.
Luthor. I don't have a problem with Spacey's
Yeah.
Luthor.
I-
As much as I like Hackman's, obviously,
But
but
Gene Hackman is the most fun that I have watching it,
Right.
and obviously whenever I refer to when I think Lex Luthor in my mind, I think of Gene Hackman.
right,
But Kevin Spacey just did it for me.
yeah,
He just
no,
did it for
I have
me.
no problem with
So,
that. So yeah, I had some problems with Batman vs Superman. Most of my problems came from Man of Steel,
Yeah.
and just continued onward. And I like, and I'm going to mispronounce his name, Henry Cavill. Is it Cavill? Cavill. I like him. Man of Uncle's a great movie.
Yeah.
It really is, and I grew up watching the original
show.
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoy him as a performer.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd make a great Superman. Just
If
not
he-
that Superman.
Well, and this is just kind of a little bit off topic, but if you can just give me a quick answer, how do you feel about Night of the Living Dead?
Love him.
Okay, yeah.
Hate horror movies. Hate them. Can't
Uh-huh.
stand them.
I'm not a big
I'm never
fan.
going to see Freddy Krueger.
Mhm.
I saw the first Halloween. I did see Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D.
Mhm.
Because it was on a double bill with another movie.
Yeah.
Double bill.
Yeah.
I miss those.
I know. So that's the only reason why I saw that, because if I paid, I'm going to watch it. But otherwise, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
The Romero zombie movies are the exception,
Yeah.
and it's because of the political subtext.
Yeah.
Whatever the subject matter is, even the latter ones that nobody likes, I'm in. Diary of the Dead, I love it. I do. Just, he was so prescient.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that right? Probably not. I can spell it. I can't say it. He was
I know what you mean.
so on point with the media culture.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, kids. That people dismiss it as his lesser work, and it's like, no, you don't
Yeah.
understand. He was 5-10 years ahead.
I think so. Now specifically, I'm talking about Zack Snyder's version. Though.
No,
No.
I think I caught 10 to 15 minutes of it,
And
and
then
as
just-
much as I like Ving Rhames, I'm out.
Okay.
So I think that was Dawn. No, that was
No,
Ving Rhames was not in the night. He was in
Dawn of the
Day-
Dead.
yeah.
Day of the, no, Day of
Dawn
the
of the
Dead.
Dead. He was in Dawn
Dawn
of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one I saw.
Day of the Dead was Romero's last one.
Yeah, no, not his last. That was his third.
Yeah. Was it Land of the Dead? Is that his final one?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Right, the one that's set on the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the island. They're
Yeah.
living in a mall or something.
Yeah, I tried and I just couldn't do it. Fast moving zombies does not work. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Just curious.
Yeah.
Just wanted to find out.
Scary.
Yeah,
Since we were on the Zack Snyder subject.
I will
Okay.
say this: I did catch the end credits. Like the end credits.
Love them, right?
Yeah, I like the end credits. It worked for the Dead movies.
I aspire to make end credits as good as those
Yeah.
someday. Just to tell a whole story that people want to stay for the credits for, and not just a teaser at the end for another movie or
Right.
something, but something that really continues the story of what our characters are doing, what's going on,
Yep.
and does it in very quick snippets. It's fantastic.
And I'll go right back to Watchmen. Those opening credits
Yeah.
are, I think, possibly the best opening credits of any movie. Best opening scene is Boogie Nights. The tracking shot
Yeah.
that hits every character on one shot. I can't find an edit in there. There may be, but I don't think it runs a full mag, so I think it's less than 20 minutes.
It's been a while since I've seen it, and the brilliant thing is that you learn something about each character as you move through them.
Exactly. That opening scene is, in my opinion, just the best opening scene of any film.
Yeah.
But the opening credits of Watchmen, perfect.
Fantastic. Yeah. Excellent.
Whole history of that world, right there, right in those credits.
This is perfect.
This is great.
Sorry, disclaimer, we're going to get nerdy.
We'll
15 minutes in? We're down
15? Yeah, we're 30 minutes.
30 minutes in, okay.
All right, so I do want to backtrack a little bit.
Sure.
And I do want to get to Star Wars.
Oh, no.
But, okay. How did this convention happen?
Oh, okay.
How did this start? Who came up with it? And tell us everything that's going to be
genuinely curious.
I've always been a comic fan. Always. I'll take you guys through my office. If you want to B-roll my office, you'll see all the toys
He
that are
just
up there.
pulled all this stuff out and said, "Hey, do you want to dress the set with?" I mean, and vintage toys, the Moonraker. You said that's sold already?
No, it's going to be sold.
Going to be
convention.
sold. Okay.
Yeah.
Might have to talk to him after the show.
So, always been a fan. Went to my first comic convention when I was 13.
Oh wow.
Chicago Comic-Con. I grew up in Chicago. Our parents had to drive us. Next year we could take the bus, which was still that was a 45-minute bus ride to go to the convention. And then as soon as we could drive, we were there every year. So did that until I got married. Even after I got married, when the kids were born, and my oldest, God bless him, loves comic books, and he's all in. So that meant once we were moved to Arizona, we're going to Las Vegas Comic-Con, we're going to San Diego, back when you could go to San Diego.
You can't go to San Diego.
You can't anymore.
You have to be invited.
Yeah. We bought tickets the first year, and then you bought tickets the first day you were at the convention. There was a kiosk where you could go and just sign up for next year's tickets, and that's what you did. The first thing you did, you got your badge, you bought next year's tickets.
Wow.
So we did that for 4 or 5 years. And so convention's always been a part.
We need to make the trip, dude. It needs to happen.
It does.
We got to figure it out.
We got to figure out a way in.
I know.
It will. I got to tell you, honestly, it's probably going to leave San Diego. I think it's going to leave San Diego within 5 years.
You think so?
And go what, north? To LA?
It's either going to go to LA. That's what the studios want because it's
Chargers.
cheaper.
Oh, is it cheaper?
It's way cheaper because they're shipping. The movie studios are shipping everyone and everything, and every actor that appears is getting a fee.
Oh yeah.
So depending on the actor, you're talking 10, 50, 100,000 to appear at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Well, just get them in LA. Now I don't have to buy a hotel. I don't have to pay for the entourage. It's just drive yourself to Anaheim, probably. Vegas is also being discussed.
I think Vegas would be a good venue.
Vegas's convention center is constantly expanding because Vegas is a tourism town, so they understand. They don't play. It's this is where we're going to invest. That convention center is beautiful. If you haven't been, it's a great center. I used to go to
I haven't been in
Consumer
about 5
Electronics
years,
Show.
but yeah.
That's where they do CES.
Yeah, CES is there.
NAB.
Great facility. Problem is, it's July. It's 115 degrees.
Yeah.
It's cool in San Diego. It is. San Diego's a great climate. But there's no room for the San Diego Convention Center to expand. It has expanded as much as it can without buying up
much
surrounding
stuff is
property.
offsite now. And
Correct. The city would have to buy surrounding property, and they can't afford that.
Yeah.
Although Qualcomm Park is across the street. No, the Padres are still there. I was going to say with the Chargers moving, there's a possibility, but
it used to be Petco.
but the Padres are still there. So so I think it's going to move at some point. And once it does, I think that's when people can go again.
Moving to LA would be, because that'd be fun.
Because
But the Stars don't
LA's
want it.
Comic-Con isn't good.
The Stars don't want it.
Stars don't want to do a convention in
their hometown.
In their hometown because San Diego's a vacation. I go do a panel, but then I get 4 or 5 days, and I get to do whatever I want.
I don't know. It's only when you drive around LA that you realize it's not really that. I mean, it's a big town, but you know,
It's
the
a
parts
lot of
that
big
people go
towns,
to
yeah.
is really very small.
Yeah.
So having something like that in your own backyard, I can see how that would be annoying.
Yeah. So, so I've
Well,
been,
we don't think our convention in our backyard.
not yet. Let's see how much traffic we generate.
We'll wait until when we're super famous. Just get out of our town, man.
10 cars. People are gonna be
Signing
losing
autographs
their
for
minds.
$10 a pop.
So was this your idea?
No, it's actually the CEO of our newspaper group.
Okay.
His name is Francis Wick. We're owned by Wick Communications.
Okay.
Wick owns all the newspapers in southeastern Arizona, with the exception of Tucson.
Okay.
So although we have a paper in Tucson, it's called the Territorial, but not the Star. But everything else east of Tucson is owned by Wick Communications and Havasu, which is
Right.
that's where I came from too, by the way.
Is it
Before I
really?
came here, yeah, Havasu. So he came in one day and he was talking to us about we put on a 3-on-3 basketball tournament last year to raise money for the Boys and Girls Club. Had a great time. It was a good event. So he came in and he said, "Boy, that was a great event. You know, I just went to the Cochise Comic Con. The college just put one on this year. We should probably do one, don't you think?" And I said, "Can we?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Done. I just made you clip. I'm sorry. That's all I needed.
Probably okay.
That's all I needed
That's
to hear
brilliant.
was do it." So I've been working on it for a year.
Hold on, there's a Cochise Comic Con?
There is.
I saw the link on
Yeah.
the Courier's website.
Yeah, they were great. They were very friendly, cross promote.
Mhm.
It's put on by the college.
Great.
They do it for their students.
And so you partnered with EAC.
We partnered with EAC, Patty Wren over at EA,
Okay.
with
She
the
gets
student
stuff done.
club, yeah, the activities club, just phenomenal. She's
Yeah.
she's the best. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other way to put it.
You ever
So-
need anything, you just call Patty.
Yeah.
She'll take care of it.
She's a beast in the right sense of the word.
Yeah.
I mean, she just does things.
Yeah.
So mention it to her. She's a huge Wonder Woman fan,
Mm-hmm.
tremendous Wonder Woman fan.
I'm good friends with her son. Loves Spider-Man.
Yep.
He's a Spider-Man guy. He's got a costume which is apparently amazing.
It is.
We've wanted to get him on.
Yeah.
So
It is, and I want to say one of the other boys has a Green Lantern costume as well. So, because she's got the two boys.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll
Anyway.
be there.
So yeah, so she, as soon as I said Comic-Con, she said, "Great, let's do it."
Let's do it. Yeah.
Made the facility available to us, and so then it's been a year of trying to get vendors and trying to set up panels and how do we make this value added for the customer, and we really wanted to go as cost efficient as we could. Our goal isn't to make money; it's to
Right.
have fun. So as long as our costs are covered, we're happy. So booths are starting at $50.
Mm-hmm.
Tucson charges $465. Phoenix charges $9 something, I believe. San Diego, don't even ask. Our entry fee is $5. I mean, we've got a special one, a VIP for $45. If anybody wants to pay, you get a bunch of extra.
You get the
stuff.
shirt.
Get
Yeah.
the T-shirt. You get to go to the thing that we're doing on the Thursday before the convention. You get some comics, other gifts, backpack, which is anybody who's gone to convention knows. Bring a backpack. You don't want to be lugging 12 different bags. You just want a backpack.
Yeah.
So you can put whatever you buy in there, throw it on your back, and you're good to go.
How do we get on the waiting list for that one?
It's right on the website. You can buy it right now on the website, GilaValleyComicCon.com. How's
Okay.
that for a plug, kids?
Hey.
So that's what we've been doing for a year is doing that, lining up some artists. The big one that I was so happy that we got was we got a professional cosplayer,
Mhm.
and her name is Kara Nicole. She goes by the name AZ Power Girl. She is literally all over the globe. They
Yeah.
hire her. She's a model.
Yeah.
So they hire her at booths. Marvel has hired her. A couple other publishers. I don't know if DC has, although she's known as Power Girl, which
Mhm.
is a DC character.
Yeah.
She also owns a studio, 180 Studio, so she's a comic artist as well, along with her husband. He writes, I believe he draws as well, so I think they share the drawing.
Mhm.
So, I mean, she's really multifaceted. And reached out to her. I knew we could not get her as a cosplayer.
Mhm.
So, Kara, if you're watching this, she had run for the legislature 2 years ago,
Really?
and she didn't win in her district. It's
Uh-huh.
it's a Phoenix district, and she announced that she was going to run again this year. So I reached out to her as a newspaper man, reaching out to a candidate,
There you go.
and said, "Oh, by the way, we're having this convention."
Yeah,
And she
this
was
thing.
it was sneaky. I fully admit that, but she was so cool. And she goes, "You know what? You're a first-year convention. I want to support this sort of thing." Waived her fee. Just said, "Hey, make sure that we got a place to stay." Done.
Yeah.
And she's coming in. So that's the one I'm really happy with. So she's going to do a panel on costuming and cosplay. She's going to help judge the costume contest. She'll be available to all the fans
Yeah.
Friday night and Saturday. Really happy with having her as our guest. I mean, I didn't think we'd get somebody of that stature, somebody literally nationally known
Yeah.
in the field.
We've seen her at the last Comic-Con we went to in Phoenix. Just kind of like all over to the side. She's obviously not a huge player in that arena, but still having her here that's great.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I was surprised at the response from people within the valley
Yeah.
who were like, "Oh, Nicole was coming? Oh my goodness."
Yeah,
It's like, yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Now I'm even more stoked.
You should read the Courier.
I can't read.
We have pictures. So
Do the pictures tell a story?
They do.
Because this is really what I'm into right here.
Oh,
Just colors.
So what else is happening at the con? I know we got
Okay.
Thursday night. It kicks off at the movie theater.
yeah, Thursday night, Stargazer 5, Allen Theaters. Also, when they bought the old Sapphire Theater, the owners came in to set up their advertising here.
Mhm.
So I want to say it was within days of the purchase, 1 or 2 days of the purchase. And they said, "Well, what's going on in your area?" And we said, "Oh, we're putting on a comic convention." They said, "We want to be a part."
Yeah.
And said,
Perfect.
"Wow, thank
Great.
you." So they said, "Why don't we do a special showing of a movie? What movie would you like? Can't be anything current. Obviously we can't get Deadpool early.
Right.
As much as
We can
wanted.
try.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
So I told her, I said, "Look, honestly, from this last year, what I've learned is Wonder Woman is legitimately one of, if not the most popular characters in the Gila Valley.
Wow.
People here love Wonder Woman. They truly do. I think Guardians probably would be a good number
yeah?
2.
We gave Wonder Woman kind of a rough review. Maybe that's why nobody likes us.
Did we do? We did.
We did.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Wonder Woman made money.
I love Wonder Woman. I truly did. It was serious without being dour, and that's what I loved about it. But I digress. So we said, "Well, what about Wonder Woman?" They said, "You got it," and they paid the fee to bring the movie back.
Oh, wow.
We're going to do a little mini costume contest that night. We'll do some Wonder Woman trivia. They're putting up prizes for that. So there's a nice way to get some movie passes. Hint.
Take notes, kids. Take
yeah.
notes. This is how you get things done.
So it was great. And here's our problem, though, on the 22nd. That's Gila Valley Idol's finale.
Oh, no.
So our good friends over at the radio station at Double R Communications, we love all the guys over there. That's their event, and we don't want to step on it, but we don't have a choice. We tried to get it on Saturday. We couldn't do that. We could do it on Thursday. There was nothing else we could do. We had to go with Thursday. So we went with that. So sorry to Double R. We truly love those guys. There's a bad person over there.
Yeah.
We're not competing media. We're my friend calls it competition.
Competition.
Because they do,
We need
video
some competition.
We do.
video complements print, which complements broadcast, radio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Absolutely.
it all works together. There was also a chamber mixer that night, and I just learned literally before you guys walked in, there's a burlesque show in Solomon.
Solomon has a burlesque show.
They're having
Scandalous Solomon.
there's a bar in Solomon. I guess it's been open for a few months.
Okay.
I wasn't aware of it.
Hopefully they get women from outside Solomon.
Yeah. They announced the burlesque
I'm sorry.
show.
It's also the last first day of the open. It's 18.5.
We'll be shooting that night, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna be live streaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, CrossFit's going crazy too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're up against a lot of activity that night, but the goal is just to have fun.